Hi guys, and welcome to another vlog. So today is a training vlog and I'm a little bit late, hence why I'm getting dressed whilst talking to you. But I've come to Pontypridd with Charlie Boy for a lesson with Marie Ryan. And there is a later vlog too with Alex Bragg, but I'm going to try and make it a two-parter because I think there's probably going to be plenty of footage from each lesson. So this one is going to be with Marie Ryan and I'm very excited. I've heard amazing things. I've heard how encouraging she is and how that is a bit of me. If you know me, then you know that my shoulders aren't as broad mentally as they are physically, and I am better to be taught through praise rather than sort of, not punishment, but you know what I mean, as in like I just learn, I aim to please. So if I feel like someone's been like, you know, high praising, then I just learn better and more confidently. So yeah, I'm very excited to meet her. She has kindly said that I can vlog the lesson, so that's exciting. Oh yeah, I'm not going to say much more other than obviously I'm here with Charlie, and this is my first lesson in a while, and my first proper jumping in a while, since Victon, which is crazy. So since October, we're now in December, and so I'm feeling very rusty, and also it's the first kind of outing for Charlie since, gosh, yeah, end of September was the last time he competed, and he's had quite a lot of chill time since. So this is his first proper back to school lesson. Like, I'll show him to you because he looks so gorgeous back. He's having a little massage. I haven't got long. Hey baby boy, he's so gorgeous. Yes, he's been super boy. He's travelled really well, and he's just stood back there like a little angel. But yeah, not a lot else to say. Just wanted to introduce this, and I hope that the vlogging content, the lesson content is good. I mean, to be honest, if it's not, then you probably won't even be seeing this intro because I won't post the vlog at all. But yeah, enjoy, and I look forward to catching up with you afterwards and talking a little bit about what I've learned, hopefully.
Okay, so what I thought would be a good idea before you even really do an awful lot is just familiarise themselves with the arena and the slopes. So just wander up there, just so that they actually can get some perspective, and I'll walk with you and I'll chat with you as we go along.
Okay, so here we go off on a little walk with Marie, and she just talks to us about things to be aware of when we arrive at a venue like this with a young horse, things we can do to help settle them. You'll see in a second we go to the incline, the hill, and we ride up it and down it and back up it, just so we are giving these young horses the best possible chance to have a good lesson. A huge part of this lesson, so the other horse in our lesson, Jo, has kindly let me share this shared lesson. Her horse is 4, and Marie just had the two of us in this lesson because she really wanted to make sure these young horses weren't being rushed. She wanted to take the time. She didn't want to take away from anyone else's lesson. Now, Charlie is a little bit more experienced than the other horse in this lesson, and I would say it was probably catered slightly more to the level of that horse. However, that said, I think for Charlie's coming back after nearly 8 weeks off any kind of formal training or competition, he's just had a break. This is his first time away from home since his break, so I actually think it was really good for me to be kind of put in my box, really, because I do say a little bit later on in this lesson as well that I am a little bit of a sod for when I get to a competition, letting the sort of distance I've travelled to get there get the better of me, and for me to be like, well, I've come all this way, I need to make the most of it, etc., rather than giving him the amount of time he might need. Now, Hattie, my other horse, if you've watched any of my other vlogs, she is super brave. She was from the start. She's brilliant when it comes to different changes in environment, etc., whereas Charlie is just a little bit sharper, a little bit more sensitive, you could say, or just perhaps a little bit more dramatic, because Hattie is actually quite a sensitive horse. She just doesn't always show it. Like, Charlie will let you know if he's not quite happy. So I've digressed slightly here, but what I'm getting at is this was actually a really good lesson for me to give him the best possible start to the season ahead. I know me, if I had come and hired this venue, I would have been jumping him over everything. So it was really good for me to be slowed down a little, probably, and certainly the best thing for Charlie, I would say. Marie was, like I said earlier, very patient. She specifically wanted to give these young horses the time it was going to take to give them a good confidence boosting session and to make sure they were left on a good note. Now, sadly, confession time. I had a little bit of a disaster with the mics in this lesson. So, and there's occasionally shaky bits like this. I do apologise. So, I don't have a professional videographer. This is Tim, my partner. Bless him, came all the way with me to film. So, bear with us as we kind of figure out the mic / lens / tripod, etc. As I go forward in this journey, I'm hoping to be able to film more. But yes, there will be a fair bit of voiceover from me because sadly the audio didn't work quite how I envisaged it would, with the arena being as big as it was.
Being offensive only because he's just lucky.
Yeah.
And if he comes and trots, he'll pop it. He's got a good pop and he's like that, and 80, they can.
Yeah.
But if you come and canter, he'll scare himself a few strides out, and then it's more difficult.
So what does that tell you about him? He needs more time to understand what it is he's doing.
Okay. Yeah.
When they're coming in canter, sometimes it's just too quick for them to process everything out here and then what's in front of them. So just by being able to come in and trot is just so useful because it's a pace that's slightly easier for you to manage, and B, it gives them time to assess the surroundings and whatever it is you're hoping to jump. Now, literally at this stage, just...
So this is what I mean by the audio. Sadly, it gets too crackly when Marie is facing away from the camera. But here she just says to take them straight through the water. Don't make a big thing about it. Don't save it for later in the session. Only because she was saying that if you then go to introduce it later in the session and they've already had a good jump and they're in a good place, and then you introduce water and it knocks them backwards, it's just a shame to undo all the confidence you've already instilled whilst jumping the solid fences that they're comfortable with. So she just likes to make sure this isn't a problem early on. And then here she says to go have a little bit of a warm-up now, go do a bit of trot and canter, work on your transitions, get them off our legs, let them see other parts of the arena that they may not have seen when we did our walk around, or like these hills, let them see them in trot. Again, going back to what I said earlier, she really was just confidence first, confidence with these young horses. She just wanted them to be totally comfortable with their environment.
Bring him a little bit more towards working in a clear, so he's a little bit more working towards being on the bit. What does that help you with? Straightness, very much. So you can actually sort of have more influence where he goes.
So my mic dropped out at the beginning there, but she was saying now to start trying to work him a little bit more in an outline so that I have a little bit more control of his head and shoulders.
Very good. I feel better now. Lovely, and then have a little canter, and then we're going to start playing around with some of the fences. Environment's quite a big thing, isn't it? Yeah. And quite often it's often what's between the fences when you're going cross country is and I think where that sort of is really is A, you've recognised it, and B, then to actually give him as much time as he needs to kind of almost find his feet between the fences and play around with him with that, so that it becomes less of an issue.
As I said, my mic dropped out entirely, but here I'm telling her what I told you guys earlier, that I could definitely be class as guilty of possibly rushing him when I get to these events. I don't know if competitive is the right word, but I just really want to make sure that I make the most of the distance I've travelled as much as anything else. Now I do travel quite a long way to compete, and it's really hard to travel, say, 4 hours to throw away my round in order to make a horse. Now saying that out loud is like embarrassing. I like to think that I enjoy the process of making horses. I think I do. I mean, I like to think I do, but it's more when I get to these competitions that I'm a little bit more, oh gosh, we have to get over that jump, because otherwise we'll get 20 penalties, and I can't afford that when I've travelled so far. Whereas actually, at least when I compete more locally, I like to think that, say I'm show jumping at an unaffiliated locally, if he's not listening, I'll just turn a circle and I'll take the 4 faults. I don't mind. It is when I've travelled a long way that sometimes that pressure just gets the better of me.
Okay, I think we can start just playing around with a few things. So what I'd like you to do is just work on these 3 little tiny steps. So literally go up them and walk, and then come back down again. Okay? All the time, what considerations are you going to be thinking about the horse? Give me one thing each of you, and one thing each of you about your positions.
Personally, straightness.
Straightness for the horse?
For the horse.
Super. And for you as a rider?
I'm not very good at these sorts of questions.
It's okay. Keeping really balanced and central, keeping your eyes up, yeah. And so often, you know, horses, they'll do a beautiful jump over a fence, and almost subconsciously as a rider, we can think, oh, nailed that. And then 2 strides later, they've tripped over something and we're spitting out soil. So it's always to sort of have it in your, always think of keeping that chest away from their neck. If you keep your eyes up, chest away from their neck, generally speaking, we're in a good position there, as long as your heels aren't up round by your ears.
Yeah.
Right, okay, if you just wander up, probably you go up first, just from there actually, you can just turn in from there. And this is where I almost love this with the young horses, of using it as a playground. Yeah. You know, so that they just then kind of have time and walk, just, you can wander up if you want a little bit. That's it. And it's good for them to kind of get to see horses going past them, just so that they have time, they stretch their neck down a little bit, oh, as if on cue. Yeah. Perfect. Great. And then next time you can just dribble up there and sitting trot. Just let them, just really like a dribble. And for them, exactly this, for them to think about where, let her go first. I'll just stand by his shoulder. Hey mate, good boy. Yeah, that's it. Keep your eyes up, just let them feel their way down so that they have very little pressure on the mouth. Then they won't jump against the hand. And that's one of the big things, whether they're a young horse or a more experienced horse, for them to have freedom through their neck, that they never feel like they're restricted, so they grab a bit and they jump out off a step, because that just causes all sorts of problems when you come to higher levels later. And then they suddenly, you know, they've taken strides away and it makes it very difficult. That was just lovely. Super. Really pleased with that. Okay, let's just go and practice over a fence now. Start over this because it's really nice and small and easy. We can jump it from both directions. Sometimes I find it's really useful to go into sitting trot about 3 or 4 strides away. What does that help with?
My legs on a bit more.
Great. Helps just keep them straight in case they have a little dither or a dwell or they jump really big or something. Yeah, definitely it helps with you. Okay, off you go. And then what we're going to do is start linking in this to the little step, and then I'll build it up to an arrowhead, so then we can just build a little few fences together. Good boy. And then just do a Yui up there and then back over it.
Okay, so here she says, did I mean to let let him canter, and I say I was actually going to ask, should I let him canter? Because he is, if you come in canter, he can be quite sharp on the last couple of strides if he's not had time to process the question. But if you come in trot, the last couple of strides, he does quite often get a little bit keen and then takes me in canter. So I said, should I let him? And she said, on this occasion it's okay, but generally if you say trot, you should mean trot.
So if you feel him, just slow it for a moment. Oh, nice, that's easy. Perfect. Also, what that helps to teach them, and I do this with racehorses, is to enable them to really feel that they can get closer to the takeoff area, rather than sort of feel they have to stand off. And then they get in a muddle if they think, oh my gosh, I haven't got the power to get over it. So I thought, well, these little steps here are quite good. And then we can build up to playing around with an arrowhead now. And I haven't put it too close. And again, I just want them just to find their feet up the step. Once you're both up the step, we'll just turn around and come back down the step and through the wings. And quite often, it's not the fence itself, it's stuff around it. And so here, when they come off the step, they're kind of thinking, gosh, look at all the, there's a large array of fences. So I always kind of liken it when we're teaching these young horses that it's almost like we're teaching them the alphabet. So everything's in big capital letters, and it's just like, this is how it is. And then those horses that are at the top level, they're kind of almost in braille and shorthand. So, right, okay, I'm just going to squeeze these in a little bit and then trot through and trot back. Super. Oh, very nice. Whee! Do you know what was really particularly lovely there is the shape he made in the air, because you gave him the freedom with your rein to do that. And I think Tim, he would have got that on video. You'll see how he was soft through his body. It's really good. Not quick and flat, which is what I'm looking for in him. Okay, yeah, quite a strong trot off the step. Great. This is really good. There's a little course I think we're going to do. So we're going to go over the little arrowhead step, curve round to jump that fence you jumped earlier on. So we're going to jump this, and actually go round and jump over this, and then on a little bit of an angle actually. So what I'd like you to do, see there's the two trichanas, come between the gap between those, trot through there. So you're actually going to start to jump this on a bit of an angle. You can trot or canter it, I don't mind. Again, it's about getting them to think that they're not always coming to their fences at a 90-degree angle, that sometimes we require them to jump on a turn. So over that, curve down, and then you step to your arrowhead. So it's just 4 fences, just to get them playing around, different approaches, slight angles to fences and different terrain. But the way that horses use their vision is there. So there's a little area in front they can't see, but all of that stuff, it gets in their way, when they're baby horses. And it's like they need to understand to process on what's important, and that just comes in experience. Good lad. Great. This is really good. So through the water, up the step, through the wings. Just in walk. You can walk through it, or if they want to jog, I don't mind, but just let them just walk through. And this is where I like doing the steps first with the arrow on dry land. So they're kind of already familiar with the idea going up and down before I introduce this? Good boy. Keep your hands a little wider, it might help you. Good. Whoop. And then back down it. So through the wings, Ella, over the middle rail, down through the water. Down the step. That's it, keep the leg on, look up. Quicker lower leg here. That's it, that's it, that's it. Keep him there. Good boy. Make much of him. And this is where I think it's so important that we do all the step work on dry land before you come and do it. Okay. This time, trot through, up the step and over your little rail. And I think it looked easier, Ella, when you had your hands a little bit wider. Super. Wow, brilliant. Happy with that, really. Good. Really good reaction off your step. Keep the lower leg there. Yeah, super. Now keep canter. Keep your leg around, that's it, super, yeah, good. Keep your thighs and legs round him. Super. Great. We haven't done a ditch yet, so how are we on time? Okay, I'll just walk over it, and then just literally as you get there, just keep your legs around them, nudge them. Good boy. What we can do now is build in a little fences around, and we'll have a little another little course, which is great. Sit. Close yourself around him. Stay close around him. Good girl, that's better. It's all right. Great. Make a fuss of him. Lovely. Okay, Joe.
It's really good.
Yeah, really. He is super. And I think for you to keep, make horses lame with those, just keep yourself, like your glutes, your thigh, really wrapped around him. I did look at your saddle because I wondered if that was velcroed on.
Oh, it's not, no.
But it would, if you could, see if Rhiannon has got anything, you might benefit from having something with a knee block that's just a little further away to help, because you feel how that gets in the way of your knee. So it pushes your knee back. And then it's not because you haven't got a good position. I think you're strong in your lower leg, but I think your saddle here, that knee block pushes your knee back, and then your leg goes here, and then you feel loose. Because you have to, when I was just watching you and I was just saying, just keep yourself closed around him a bit, you actually have to make quite a movement to do that. You kind of like have to shuffle yourself around and then shove your leg there. And I think that just slightly gets in the way of your knee. You're almost too long in the leg from your hip to your knee and your thigh for that saddle.
Okay,
interesting. So it might just be useful just to have a play around, see if Rhiannon has got anything.
My other horse has a nicer saddle. I do feel a lot more secure in it.
Yeah, and that's why I think it almost sort of pushes you out of that kind of feeling that you're really melted into them. So he was just super. Great. Yeah, really good.
Come dance in my glow. Fireflies in the yard, everything's a work of art. Already got everything.
Lesson number 1 done, all filmed by Timmy, who's now also on coffee duty. Charlie was really good boy, weren't you, Baba? He was super. Really, really, really pleased with him. Definitely smaller than we have jumped, and I know he can jump, but he was kind of a little bit cocky, and that was quite a nice position to have him in that he he was kind of like, let me, I know what I'm doing, etc. Which is something we're hopefully going to work on consistently a little bit now through the rest of the winter pre-season, and try and have me trust him a little bit more, because I still come into a fence a little bit like, here you go in, la la la, whereas like I'm looking forward to when I just say trust him to be like, yes, he's going, let him do his job. But yeah, really pleased. I also think they're like smaller than we have, and we know we can jump, but considering the time of year, it's the first time he's jumped solid fences since September, which was his last event. Like, he's jumped the odd gorse bush, but he's not done cross-country schooling, or say jumped any cross-country fences since September. So it was really nice to just get him out, see how he was feeling. There was a few little things that were slightly contradicting of previous lessons I've had about my position, but that's fine, and I don't mind. I take it all on board, and then you can pick your preference, can't you? I loved the style of teaching. I thought she was really patient, really kind, horse first, really encouraging. So yeah, I really enjoyed it. I hope you've enjoyed watching. If you did, please comment, like, subscribe if you'd like to see more. I mean, there will be a part 2 coming out, which the show jumping lesson with Alex Bragg. So that'll be out, well, as soon as I've edited it, but not long after this one. Or if you're a bit behind catching up on this, then it might already be there. Go check it out. I'll see you then.
Me and my friends dance until we drop, and the good times don't stop.